Okay, so I committed a mortal sin today. I laid in these trunks, and I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it didn't go in quite as dark as these ones did, because this was still kind of wet. The tint was not too bad. Later in the day, the tint was drier, so this went on blacker in appearance. Not a problem, not worried about it at all. The mortal sin is this. I became very involved in the shapes here, quite liked them. And I thought, this is nice, you know, I kind of like, you know, this is straight, powerful, the most foreground tree trunk there will be. This one might fall in behind a couple of small young evergreens here, maybe, don't know yet. This one has kind of a nice arc to it, a little bit, well, not perfect, shall we say, a little bit crooked. And then I thought, you know what would be nice is if I have a little stump. I often think, you know what would be nice is if I had a little stump. And so I put it in here, and I came up to here. The shape of the stump was great, everything was good. But I was sitting this close to it, and again, that's the danger of sitting down when you're painting. If I'd have backed up, I would have seen it immediately, but as it was, as it happened, I didn't. The top of this trunk, the top of this little stump here, was pretty much dead center to the painting. So that was one reason the stump was a bad idea. That alone I could have worked with. What I did not want to work with was the fact that it came up here and it actually visually blocked the viewer from being invited to go down. It's not really a path, it's just kind of a clearing. But you know, that clearing, I felt I wanted to leave sort of free of debris or shapes, strong shapes certainly. So that's why I have a bit of a mess here, a bit of a muddle here. Not worried about it. This painting, I just tinted the whole thing. I've been working a little bit without a net because I did not have the safety of a charcoal sketch to go by. I didn't want to lay charcoal on wetter paint, because if you make mistakes with the charcoal and you try to remove the charcoal, you're going to remove the paint, and that wouldn't be even a bigger mess than what I've done here. So I've just gone in with ultramarine blue, burnt sienna, and not that small a brush. Sort of one of my older ones. It's a bit beat up. It's well used. But it's very handy for this kind of thing. And just went in and started painting directly, no charcoal. And I made sure that for the rest of the painting, after this little bit of silliness, that I backed up a lot. Took little intermissions here and there while I was composing it. My plan is to have the light coming from the upper left, and of course a little bit behind us. Well, not of course, but yeah, a little bit behind the viewer's head. These will catch a bit of sunlight, but for the most part, when they come down to here, this will be mostly in the shade, casting a shadow across this line here, back there, possibly this trunk. These two trunks, at least this one for sure, is going to catch some strength, some spots of direct sunlight, and some sunlight will spill across in the foreground here. Maybe not much. We're going to have to again play that by ear as the painting progresses. So now, you know, my plan was to have a little invitation, you know, not a path that's going to go way off into the distance. That was never the plan. Just something that would invite the viewer to cross this threshold, go to this rise, and then look down into or across a bit of a gully where there's a lot of deciduous bush and trees and a lot of autumn color, a lot of fall color. So I got to this point, and of course I sit back and I'm looking at it and I think, you know, actually, it's nice to have that autumn color back here, but it also presents a block because that's where your view ends. Now sometimes I don't mind if it's all about the shapes in the bush in the background, all about the autumn color. That's okay too. But as an alternative, I also thought today, wow, what a great screen, what a great presentation, framing for maybe looking across some water and maybe some distant hillsides. You have an interesting shape. Kept simple, but kept well alive with color. Not so much autumn color maybe, but you know, you have the water, you have some interesting hill shapes here, and then you've got some sky. Anyway, that's an alternative. It's kind of like a pick your own ending storybook. I don't know yet what I'm going to do. We'll find out pretty soon. These are all, of course, just trunks. There's no foliage on them. You know, you don't see enough of the tree to see any crowns. But partway down the trunks, I will probably introduce a few, little bunches of leaves here and there. It needs it anyway, because if it's all just trunks, then it looks maybe a little bit too dead. I don't really want the scene to look like a depiction of a nuclear winter, because, you know, that's not happy. Anyway, that's where it's so far. I threw in some shapes here and there. It's been a day of a lot of sitting down and then standing up and saying, oh, I'd like this, oh, I'd like that. And I don't film that, because if I do, I'm filming all kinds of little snippets. Ergo, I'm doing a lot of editing. That's not something I'm going to do. So here it is so far. It's mostly in place. We'll find out next time whether I'm going to do some bush. I could, of course, introduce a bit of sky. I could put a path through some autumn bush. Yeah, that gets kind of postcardy for my taste. So, anyway, we'll see how it goes. But next time we'll at least have brought the wash-in to the point at which we can start jumping in with the knife, or maybe the brush. I'm still thinking the knife, but we'll see how it goes. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. We'll talk to you soon.